There. I always look so bright. I don't know if that's a good thing.
Oh, you look pretty good. The contrast is good.
Oh, thank you.
So is the makeup and the hair.
I haven't got any makeup. Well, I got a little bit. We're live.
Six o'clock. Are we ready?
Yep.
Okay, so I'd like to call to order the Public Works and Environmental Services Committee meeting being held today, Tuesday, February the 16th, 2021 at 6 p.m., being held electronically and transmitted via council chambers as per Ministerial Order M192. So I'd like to first acknowledge that we are on the First Nations territory, and we thank them for allowing us to conduct our business on their territory. I'd like to remind staff and council that we're live streaming this meeting on our Lake Cowichan Council YouTube channel and ask all participants to ensure that your faces are visible on the screen with or without a mask. For the public, we have two portions of our meetings that are for public participation, and they are as follows: verbal comments from the public on a subsequent item on the agenda. We'll pause for 3 minutes to allow residents to email their comments or questions to general@lakecowichan.ca. And comments can also be emailed prior to the meetings, with our agendas being available on the town website on Fridays. Also, question period, where we'll pause again the meeting for 3 minutes to allow residents to again email questions on email specifically or that are on this agenda. Once again, to general@lakecowichan.ca. Questions can also be emailed prior to or following the meeting to the above email address to be answered by the appropriate committee chair. Some questions may be referred to staff for a response. So thank you to everybody who is attending our virtual meeting. And with that, I am looking for introduction of any late items. None from Mr. Fernandez, okay?
Yes, there's none.
Okay, so with that, I'm looking for approval of the agenda. Councillor Austin, seconded by Councillor Sandu. So business arising and any unfinished business. Ongoing items still being addressed are parking limits and enforcement of the same. And that's just going to be a continuation.
I think I could let the superintendent speak on it. He's
Okay.
been dealing with this issue for some time.
You'll have to unmute Mr. Sandu.
With the parking issue, I have been in touch with some parking enforcement people, a couple of them, and one's I don't have their name handy with me now. Out of Victoria anyway, so they're sending me some quotes on different ways to dealing with it. They'll provide signage. We can get a meter put in, towing and stuff. So they're sending me a bunch of different options. I should have them this week, and then we can discuss that. Robbins is the one that I've been talking to in Victoria, so.
So have you been in contact with any smaller communities such as ours that are only hit with a lot of tourists during the summer months versus all year, like Victoria would?
No. No.
Okay.
When I talked to Robbins, like they deal with some smaller communities like, but high tourism like Tofino and Ukilit, Parksville. And they got the bigger municipalities too, but they're gonna provide us with some options.
Good, thank you. Does anyone have any questions of the superintendent? No? Okay, thank you very much. So we have no delegations tonight and we have no correspondence. So we are going to pause for 3 minutes for any verbal comments from the public, unless you have some already, Mr. Fernandez.
I have nothing.
Nothing, so we'll pause for 3 minutes then. Where's Councillor Austin with her Jeopardy music?
It's not very loud. Is that loud enough? Could be louder. I can't make it louder. That's good. Must have been 4 minutes by now.
I'm just waiting for our CAO to come
To
back.
come back. Where is he? Yeah. Maybe there's a bunch.
Now's a good time, I guess, to maybe inform some of the residents because of our recent snow removal that the town of Lake Cowichan, if you go on to our website, we have a snow removal bylaw posted, and you'll be able to see where our first priority is in our snow removal.
Yep.
Once again, town of Lake Cowichan website under bylaws, I believe. Is it posted under there for snow removal? So Joe, what part of the town website again is the snow removal?
It's under, just give me 1 second. It's under the,
I think it's under services.
under departments, I think, services.
Under
Yeah.
services. So under services, we'll tell you
The
all
drop
about
down.
our bylaw, our snow removal policy. And of course, the snow always happens to come on a weekend, doesn't it? But thank you very much to our superintendent though and your crew, Jazz. So,
You're welcome. They did a fine job. Yeah.
sure did. Thank you very much. So
We'll
was
pass it
there
on.
any questions, Joe?
None at all. Madam
None
Chair.
at all? Okay, so we will move on to our first report from our superintendent. And it's regarding our Public Works report for January of 2021.
Okay, for Public Works, we've now completed some upgrades at the sewer lagoon. We removed the old chlorine gas injection system and replaced it with a new liquid chlorine injection system. So it's a better and safer for everybody to work around, so we don't have gases there. It was a concern with the fire department as well, so that's been all taken care of. And we've also installed a new digital flow reader there, so we can not only manually get all the data daily, but at the end of the month or anytime we want, we can have that daily. Hope we're going to get it set up. It'll send us information right to our office every day with all of our flows. Again, we've encountered a few water breaks. That's just an ongoing issue around town, repairs and that. Arbutus Avenue, the sanitary inflow and infiltration upgrades have started. We've done some preliminary investigation, and we've hired an engineer to design that so we can get that fixed. Catch basins and culverts, that's an ongoing maintenance. We do that on a regular basis, make sure leaves and everything are clean so all the catch basins are working properly. Same with potholes. It's an ongoing concern around town. Whenever they occur, and they do quite often, we're patching them. Sanitary pump stations, we've got some ongoing maintenance, and that's we're just continuously working on that to keep them upgraded. The boomstick that's supposed to get repaired around the pump station intake, we're still waiting on the contractor to give us a start date on that, hopefully soon. We've got a few more danger trees we're going to be taking down this month. Let the contractor know about that. There's 3 or 4 trees that we're going to take down this month. Snow removal equipment is all ready to go, ready and for whenever it snows or sanding. New bus shelter on South Shore Road, where our existing one is, where Fields is. We're going to be installing a new one there, so we've awarded the contract to place a new concrete pad there for the new shelter, and we're on that. We're working with the CVRD, so we'll be splitting the costs with the CVRD, Town of Lake Cowichan, and the transit system. We're continuously planning spring and summer projects. It's all underway. Our hydro upgrades on North Shore Pump Station, they're now complete to BC Hydro standards and whatever they required. Bell Tower School repairs have been completed. We got some cleanup and a bit of landscape to do. Well, we'll wait for the weather to improve a little bit there when we do that. And just again, a reminder to all residents, if they can help clean the sidewalks, boulevards adjacent to their property, clean all the brush and weeds and limbs off the sidewalks. We do appreciate their cooperation, and the ones that are doing it, thank you very much. And the ones that need to do it, please help us out and get it done. That's all we have there.
Thank you. And Jess, I just wanted to ask you one question. Up on Joel Road, when the town trucks and the plows are constantly going around the corner, they are going to the, is it the sewer lagoon or a pump station?
Pump station.
A pump station. Okay, I had some residents asking today, and of course, because quite a few of us live up there on Joel Road, it is, I informed them that it's not to plow town staff out, that there is a pump station up in that area that our crew has to get to many times during the day, and that's why they see the frequency of the town vehicles and the plows going up there. So thank you very much for that.
Yeah, and some of the plows have been up too, because first we open up the main roads and then we go back and clean up the side streets and the cul-de-sacs. So there is some extra traveling back and forth, but priority is open up the main roads, Joel Road, but the cul-de-sacs, the three Cowichan Chapel and Scully and that get left until later. Well, they might make one pass, but the majority of the cleanup is done later.
I think during power outages, you have to go up there too, don't you? Because of
We do,
generators?
yeah, generator, and they, on a daily basis, they have to go up there and check on the pump station.
Perfect. Good
Yeah,
information.
Yeah, and that's the same as every pump station we have in town. They're visited daily.
Perfect, thank you.
Yeah.
Anyone have any questions? Mayor Day?
Thank you, Madam Chair. Just a comment and then a question. Thank you, staff, for going to work on the overgrown sidewalk issue. It is noticeable. I've noticed some compliance, albeit not perfect, but the message seems to be getting out there, and some folks are actually taking the time and care to get that done. With reference to the work going on at the sewers lagoon, great to see that you're able to add some technology there that allows reporting back to the office without sending people up there all the time. I don't know if you have any drawings or anything yet of the connection to the third cell when that happens. Is there a lot more technology going to be integrated when that happens, and will you be able to get like full reporting on everything that goes on up there? So thank you.
Yeah, we do have drawings, and there's a lot of new technology when that takes place. We're just, again, waiting for funding. We've made grant application, and hopefully we hear something soon so we can proceed with that.
Mr. Fernandez?
Yes, on the new liquid chlorine injection system, something that council needs to be aware of. We had originally gone out for quotes on that system, and it came in at about $200,000. So I think staff worked on it diligently, and they came up with a system that I think Mr. Superintendent can give us a number on that, and it's working well. My understanding is.
We're going to be in the neighborhood of about 40,000, 45,000 at the most by the time we get everything done. Yeah, the staff put their heads together and came up with a solution much cheaper, and it's working.
Wonderful, thank you.
Yeah.
Councillor McGonigal?
Yeah, thanks for that. I was in the initial discussions as acting mayor when that quote came through, and it was quite exorbitant, and with the help of our water treatment plant operator, I think he had some ideas moving forward on that chlorine injection system. My question, if I may, through you, Madam Chair, on Arbutus Avenue West inflow and infiltration, is that the first step to mitigate some of those flows within the 100 house area? Will there be ongoing work in the other areas within the 100 houses?
We will look into that and see which ones, there's a certain amount of funding. There's a few other manholes around town we need to fix closer to the river. So Arbutus will be the first one in the 100 houses, but yes, that we will be looking at more in the future.
And just to follow up, if I may,
Yep.
I know through the smoke testing, et cetera, that this area was identified as one of the major contributors to the INI. And
Yeah.
you spoke briefly about the digital input and readings of our outflow. Whatever mitigation we can do on INI will certainly impact that in the outflow into the river on our effluent. So whatever we can do to negate that INI will help us in the long term at the fine land.
Oh yeah, and it's pretty obvious that we get a lot of infiltration in the winter.
And I'm certainly not suggesting what your next workload should be. Don't get me wrong. I'm a counselor. I'm not an employee.
Yeah.
Mr.
No, that's all right.
Fernandez?
Yeah, well, two things. We've allocated monies for that storm sewer system for the 100 houses over the next number of years. So it's not just a one-time event. We're looking at allocating funding over the next 4 years also. And on another issue, and I just thought that since we had talked about the issue of the bus shelter on fields, maybe the superintendent can maybe enlighten us more on the one that we're planning on putting across from Country Grove. And I think he's been in discussions with highways.
Yeah, so that one there, we've had discussions with CVRD, Transit, and Ministry of Highways. And there's a grant application that I've filled in. It should be going in next couple of days. There's quite a bit of funding available on that one. So what we're planning there right now, when the bus stops, it blocks off the traffic and it holds back traffic. We want to be able to pull a bus right off the road there. It's the old gas station site, which belongs to the town. So we'll pull the bus right off the road and make put another bus shelter there and make a nice stop. We can do a real nice job there, and hopefully we'll get this grant that we're making application on, so we can move forward. And it looks good, but we won't know until we get it.
Thank you.
It'll be quite an improvement there, and Ministry of Highways, everybody agrees, if we can get the bus off the road and not impact traffic there. So
Councillor McGonigal?
Thank you. I'm glad you brought that up. I know in the past that there have been liens, et cetera, on that property. At one time, it was to be returned to the town as excess property, but in the interim, it had resided within the Ministry of Environment for the work that had been done there. So that has been removed from that portfolio.
No, it hasn't, but we can use it for our purposes.
So let's just be clear, that is not town property yet.
Well, it is, it's in the name of the town, but we have a
You know-
lien on it.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. But we can utilize that property for a transit shelter.
Correct.
Excellent.
Councillor Sandu?
Do we have to just reach out to the residents in that area, just with the change to that piece of property right there?
I don't believe so, but Joseph, maybe.
Yeah, I don't think we need to, but I mean, if council feels that we have to, I think the adjacent property owner was not happy with the current location of the bus shelters, bus stand. So it would probably be better for him if we moved it over.
Okay,
Thank you.
thank you.
Okay, seeing no more questions, we'll go on to our water treatment plant update, please.
So the water treatment, nothing has changed there. The plant is working properly as it's supposed to. Everything's working good. We haven't got any advisories out for any water advisories, so that's all good. Yeah, there's a couple of websites here if anybody wants to go on, and you can via all the information's there on our daily testing. Yeah, so that's about it. Nothing much is treated there, other than the one issue at the end on the bottom, aluminum. We had some a few months back where the aluminum seemed it was getting a little bit high. So speaking with Island Health and our water operator, they decided we're going to start taking tests from the lake at the same time. So we're doing that twice a month, and it's showing that the aluminum in the lake is a little bit elevated at this point. And so at the treatment plant, the coagulant we're using is not the cause of it. We're within working parameters at the treatment plant. So, but we're going to continue testing it just to keep on top of it, see what's going on with the aluminum. Island Health is quite aware of it, and they're working with us on that.
Perfect. Any questions for Superintendent? Councillor Sandu?
Just looking at the January turbidity levels, like the rain we had and the scale we had, and how where the level was with raw water, and then as it went down with the treatment. So I think it's just to make clear to our community and to our residents that we have wonderful, great drinking water. Mm-hmm. And that if there were any water issues, the town would do a statement out to the community immediately. So I just want clarity that people understand what you're reading on social media is not accurate to the facts of our water treatment plant and the water that is going through there and that people are drinking. It's safe, it's fine. And if it wasn't, you'd be the first to know.
CAO?
Yes, I just want to piggyback on what Councillor Sandu has just indicated. There are people on the sidelines who seem to think they know more about the water treatment plant than our engineers and Island Health, which is a shame, because we keep continually reporting the whole issue in terms of where we are at. Daily readings, we have a mechanism whereby daily readings are recorded. So Island Health can come in, we don't hide anything. They're privy to all of the information that we give them. And so far, they've had no issues.
And I agree with you too. And we have a top-notch water operator here who's very well qualified, and we're being monitored from Island Health. And what more could we possibly do? So I'm fully confident that we're doing everything in our power to provide clean drinking water. So I know it's been tough on staff, but we are where we are, and we have that treatment plant is doing exactly what it was commissioned to do. When we think back to all of our boil water advisories of the past, I think we were barely getting over one, and we had another one, and we haven't had one this year. So I'm really confident. So thank you. Anyone else have any questions?
I just want to say thank you as well. And yes, it's important to look at those websites that Jazz has put on there for people to get some education on that. And it's great water. We haven't had any problems. And I think that people need to look at that before they put something on social media that they're not quite sure of. Thank you.
Absolutely. Thank you. So we seem to have lost our superintendent, but I think he'll be coming back. And is he there?
Yeah, he's not. Oh, where did he go? He must have just disappeared. Dalton's taken over.
Is he? Well, if he can help us out with the operators report for the water treatment plant, that would be wonderful.
Well, I can try because
you-
it's self-explanatory, really. He's
Sure.
given readings, and him and I have discussions on a periodic basis, and our water system is working just the way it's meant to be. All of the readings are below the limits established, except for aluminum, and that we're still working on to bring it down. But Allen Health is completely aware of what we're doing with the aluminum issue, and they seem quite okay with it.
So can I ask one question? Who prepares this report? Is it our water operator or
Water operator, yes.
the water operator prepares this report?
Yes.
Wonderful, thank you. And did you wish to speak on it? Mr. Sandhu, it says Dalton Smith, but we kind of figure who you are. Yeah, I
Oh,
think
he's
you're
on mute.
muted.
You're on mute.
He doesn't show muted, but
He doesn't. Oh, he's not muted.
I
don't
saw
think
that
he did
somebody
the-
hooked up headphones there, so the headphones is
Wow.
probably taking over the microphone.
He's having a hard time. Why did he disappear? Well, lost him.
does anyone have any comments to make on the report while we await his return?
Councillor McGonigal had his hand up.
Oh, sorry.
I'll wait. I see Mr. Sandhu is back, so we'll let him continue if he has his microphone figured out.
There we go.
Yeah, he's gonna talk now. He's talking.
He hasn't hooked up his audio. So when you log on, you have to hook up to it says audio through Wi-Fi, like so when Dalton signed in, he didn't do that. So that
Okay.
there's no audio.
He said to carry on.
So if I may, Madam Chair, I'd just take you
Yes.
to the last page on the turbidity
Mhm.
on the raw water sample on January report, almost 4.0 was the intake turbidity. And you can see on those days that it was well below 0.5 after the treatment. So it's important to note that the turbidity at the distribution is what is important. And we've all heard the conversation on turbidity and boil water advisories in the past. We know that the World Health Organization threshold is 5.0 throughout developing countries for safe drinking water. Turbidity, although by definition can be stated as dirt, over 1.0, it is deemed that it could mask diseases within there. So on every boil water advisory that has been issued in the town of Lake Cowichan, it has been on turbidity, not on any other disease-oriented basis, not on sewer, chloroform, or any other basis, just strictly on turbidity. But when you see from 4.0, which is still below the World Health Organization safe level of drinking throughout the world, and where it is treated to be below 0.5, that tells me that the treatment plant is working as designed.
Can't get it.
He's hooking up.
Anyone else have any more comments? I think then we can move on. Everything's pretty self-explanatory in that report. So we have no business. Do we have any notices of motion? Okay, so public relations items. Mayor Day?
Yes, thank you, Madam Chair. This evening, I'd just like to pause for a minute and talk to the public for a second about the town website, if I may. I just
Sure.
want the public to know that for valid information on what the town does and how it does their business and goes about some of their daily routines is available on the town website. It's very easy to find, just as easy as your social media sites, please. It's the townoflakecowichan.bc.ca, or if you simply type in the town of Lake Cowichan, you'll get there. And I just like to point out that at the top, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 drop-down menus. And if, for instance, you're interested in how to find agendas, you would tap Town Hall, go Meeting Schedule, and look for the appropriate meeting in the agenda. Or just above that, Agendas and Minutes. And that's also the same drop-down where you can look for live meetings. Under Services, you can find the precise methodology used for snow removal in the town of Lake Cowichan. But there are some variables there in how the amount of snowfall, the time the snow falls, the amount of people available to work and things like that on off hours. So just be aware of that. You can even go in there and find out how to apply to have alerts emailed to your home email address if you wish. We can't get your email address unless you give it to us so we can let you know about any emergencies or changes in service and things like that. So I just want to let the public know that's where you get the valuable information. And if you have questions about the water treatment plant, it's contained in every public works agenda where they provide these reports for us, not only us, but council. I don't want to downplay social media because Facebook, for instance, is a place where we accumulate friends. Although sometimes for us, I know it seems like we accumulate enemies, but it's a place where we accumulate friends. Friends have discussions. But when friends want true information, they shouldn't post on an information site or a gossip site or a site that says it's town governance, because as I said before, that's not where governance happens for the town of Lake Cowichan, especially when the administrator purports that it's a hobby, okay? None of us in the staff realm of the town of Lake Cowichan are doing this as a hobby. None of us who are on council do this as a hobby. We take what we do very seriously, and we honestly shoulder the weight of every tax-paying citizen, whether they be a homeowner or a renter within the town of Lake Cowichan. And we really have the utmost best in our hearts for every resident in everything we do. So within the budget we have. So please remember that. If you want true information, make the phone call, go to the website. Our contact information is all in there. If you're intimidated by phoning the town office, please reach out to your elected officials because you, the public, elected us, and we can help steer you in the right direction, give you the right phone number, give you the right contact person. But in general, get in contact with staff. They can provide the correct answers in a timely manner. So that's all I have to say. So I just want to encourage everybody, including staff, or including counselors and the public, to go to the town website when you want the real information. So thank you very much.
Thank you. So one further comment on that to our mayor. I know that during the weekend it's hard because the town offices are closed, but maybe you would like to state your mayor's website on Facebook that people can also read updates and get hold of you.
Well, I could say yes. I do have a Bob K. Day Lake Cowichan mayor, but you know, on a weekend, it doesn't matter what any time. None of us who are elected are staff members, so it's best if you have a question. Yes, please reach out and we can direct you into the right place. But if we don't have the information, we're not going to make something up for you or react like staff and call people and tell them what to do at any time of the day or night. There's emergency numbers and the contact us for public works. But at least if you can't get a hold of anybody at the town office, yes, your elected officials do have a presence on Facebook, and I myself do. And I'm sure, as well as the rest of council, you were busy on the weekend trying to best answer questions or appease folks that were frustrated due to the snowfall. But you know what, it is a snowfall. We can't control the weather, and everybody's doing the best we can. So quite often that's my standard answer. We'll get to it when we absolutely possibly can.
Absolutely.
Staff
Thank you.
will look after things. Thank you.
Any other public relations items? Okay, so seeing none, we're going to pause for 3 minutes for a question period. So if any of the public that are watching right now, you can send your inquiries to, oh my gosh, I think it's been drilled into us so long that I can't even lick my fingers anymore to spread 2 pieces of paper. So the email is at general@lakecowichan.ca if you would like to pose us a question or a comment on what you have seen on the agenda tonight. Thank you.
That's enough of that. That's enough of that.
I was going to ask you, have you got it timed for exactly 3 minutes?
No, I could, I guess. It just keeps playing. It'll go on forever. It's good music though.
Yeah, it is. So question, out of 11 months that we've been in COVID, when I was talking about licking the fingers earlier, have you noticed something that you used to do before that you're now more aware of and you don't do?
Touching your face so much, you know, washing your hands more. Never mind not doing. What about you, Bob? Your mic's off.
You're live.
Repeat the question, please.
Well, I was saying that when I made a reference earlier about, how I've become accustomed to not licking fingers to separate paper. I said, what things do you notice that you've changed in your everyday life with COVID?
I think twice before I go out and about anywhere, especially places like the grocery store or, I try to confine it to the grocery store and the hardware store and home. And of course, the town office where we have to go from time to time. Yeah. But other than that, I used to gallivant everywhere, but I just really think twice before I open any door to go in.
Yeah, actually, you think more every time you go to grab a door handle. You think more when you're interacting with cash to always make sure you're sanitizing. I know I've had many customers who said that they're even scared to sneeze or to cough because they think of the reaction that people will give them. So yeah, we're definitely in a new normal. But I think it's all for the better.
Well, we need to get through this safely as possible while still carrying on, right? Life does go on.
But it's actually good when you think about it that, when you're thinking people are more aware now of sanitizing, washing their hands, everything that they do, that yeah, in the long run, I think that'll probably be habits that will stick with us for a long time.
Yeah, they say people aren't getting colds and things like they always do in the fall and winter, and because we're not close to people and we're being more clean with things. Yeah, it's a good thing for some things.
Yeah.
Joe's back.
Yeah, I'm back.
I'm just waiting for Councillor Sandu.
Okay.
There she
Oh,
is.
there she is. Okay, do you have any questions from the public?
None, Madam Chair.
None? Okay.
Strange.
So, yeah, everybody's enjoying a nice cozy night. So we will now move on to, we'd like to thank the public who are attending our council meetings tonight virtually and for observing and participating in the process of your local government. And council would also like to thank all of our community volunteers, our businesses, property owners, residents, and last but not least, our municipal staff for all the efforts put forth that make our community a better place to live. And with that, I will look for an adjournment. Councillor McGonigal, seconded by Councillor Sandu, and all in favor? Oh, everybody. So now we'll take, I believe, a 10-minute break and